Thank you for being here, Nina. It's lovely to be here with you to talk about Finland and her trees.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a good day when you can chat about animism and other cool stuff.
The first question I have for you is actually about something that it was so Finnish in your book. It was so Finnish, was this association with the trees and saunas. There was a lot of
hmm
lore around sauna and the trees. Could you speak to our audience a bit about why sauna is such an important activity, what it is, in case audiences don't know, and why it's so important to Finnish culture, and how does that factor into trees?
All right. So saunas, of course, are old bathhouses, and first saunas here in Finland were found from the Stone Age, actually. So a very old tradition. And when we go back in time, sauna had more of a shamanistic purpose. Of course, now when we go to sauna, it's for cleansing and health and things like that. But back in the days, there was a shamanistic purpose for it. Sauna was almost like a gateway between this world and the other world. So in the olden days, and this lasted all the way to the 1960s, women here used to give birth in the saunas before hospitals because that was the most like sanitized place um, in the farm usually because it was the bathhouse. And when person died, usually the body was kept in the sauna before the burial. That might take, for a few weeks to a month. Might even be longer during the winter time if it was difficult to dig a grave. So then it was believed there were all kinds of spirits in the sauna. So it's very closely linked to life and death. And then with there are different spirits in the sauna, but also because we have this tradition with tree magic, you might heat the sauna with certain type of wood, and then also make uh, branches from different type of trees and use them in the sauna for magic. So yeah, it's very encompassing the sauna traditions and all that connection with the different tree species because each tree species has its own type of magic.
So, would the sauna be built using an intentional choice of tree?
It kind of depends. Usually, the tree magic was more used in the activities in the sauna, how the sauna was heated, and the like spell crafting that you did in the sauna. I think most of the saunas are just done from birch trees. Kind of depends what kind of sauna you want to build.
That's beautiful. And I
Mm.
love this idea of a totally separate sacred space in the home, on the farm, with the family. It's something we don't have an equivalent for in the West. Because, yes, we have our bathrooms, we have our bathtubs. I guess that would be the closest place, but they're not made of wood. When I think about the significance of a sauna, it's usually not, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're usually not in your house the way a bathroom is. So you don't go into it every minute of the day like you do with a bathroom in your home. And a bathroom in the West tends to be plastic and, there's electric running through it, whereas saunas can be more analog and they're usually removed from the home, right? Like they're a separate room. They're not in your kitchen or something like that.
Yeah, sauna is usually a separate room. It's there might be a shower and the sauna. Yeah, it's a separate place.
It's liminal in that way. It's kind of between the
Yeah.
home and nature.
hmm Yeah, I read the study once that here in Finland, because we have like 5.5 million people here, there's 3.5 million saunas. There's more saunas than there are cars, which I thought was interesting. yeah, such a big part of the culture. But for some people, I don't think we really think about it that way because we are so used to it. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. In Greece, we don't have sauna culture, but we have sea bathing. So it's almost it's used similarly, but in the opposite way because in Greece usually it's really hot. So going into the sea is a refuge and a release, but also in the winter. It's fallen out of practice with the younger generations, but in Greece, if you go to the beach at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, right when the sun is just starting to peak up, you will see old people going into the water, bathing, floating. And there's a practice too that I've noticed with older people where they like to sing to the water. And it's not something that I've asked. I've asked people when I hear them, I say, "Oh, what song is that?" Like, or something to try and speak to this, like, why are you singing? And more than often, people will just kind of be like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't realize I was singing." So it's kind of interesting the way the sea will kind of ask you to participate in the ritual of this bathing. Um, is there something like that with the sauna? Like, are there songs that are sung in the sauna? Is there kind of like a ritual kind of approach to sauna practice? Like, is there any breathing exercises people do, or is it done at a certain time of day?
Well, I love that singing for the sea example. Very beautiful. Well, only thing I can now think of is that we had these spirits of the different buildings, and we also have a spirit of the sauna or several spirits. But I don't know. There are still people who do this, but there's been this tradition that when you leave the sauna, you throw some of the water to the kiuas, and then you heat the sauna for the spirit of the sauna, that the spirit can also enjoy the sauna when the family is no longer there. There are still people who do that.
That's cute. It's like a
Yeah.
nymph. It's honestly similar to the
Mhm.
sea. I see the sea and it's kind of conversations with us when we swim to be like that. Like I feel the nidus, the spirits of water in the waters of the sea. I'll feel them sometimes in the coves and those little parts that you first dive into at the beginning of the shore. Um, so I like that there's a spirit of the sauna as well.
Mhm. He usually appeared as this tiny man with long beard. He's very old. Then there are also some female spirits connected with the sauna. There's Löylytär, and she's like the mist in the sauna. She's like a female spirit of the sauna mist. Yeah, there are lots of characters related to the sauna. And I think one of the still modern customs that we have that originates from back in the days is that usually when there is some kind of festival, people, you know, warm up the sauna and go to the sauna together at some point. It's usually like summer solstice or Christmas Eve. You have Christmas Eve sauna, or yeah. So there's like a special sauna days. Then when we go back in time, like for example, in the summer solstice, when people would go to the sauna during the summer solstice, then because summer solstice was magical time, special time, then you could do all kinds of magic in the sauna, and then it would be more powerful because it was a certain day.
Was there ever any divination done in saunas?
Hmm.
Because it sounds like an auspicious conversation, like this is a good day to cleanse. This is a bad day to cleanse. Make sure you cleanse on this holiday. So it feels very spiritually connected, like there might have been a shamanic practice or a divination practice to this in antiquity.
Yeah, I do think so. That there were people who would go into the sauna and maybe just just relax and have this meditative moment. But also when you are in meditation, you might do some astral traveling and imagine things, and you get into a certain brain frequency where you where it might be easier in the sauna. Mm. Well, during the summer solstice, there were lots of different kinds of divinations that people did, and also lots of love spells were related to that time period. Like we have one where you pick like 9 different um, flowers, different species. You put them under your pillow. You see your future in your dream, things like that.
Nine
So very
flowers.
common. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be 9 or 3 or 13. It's a pairless number if you're looking for a spouse to yourself. So yeah, makes
Hmm.
sense.
So what are some of the main trees in Finland that people can expect to, well, I guess maybe the better question is, what are the trees in Finland that you interact with and that are important in Finnish traditions?
Oh, there are many pines, spruce, birch, rowan. At least those 3 are probably the most important. Alder are have some very interesting mythology behind them, and Finnish folklore is very interesting because with all the tree species, there are different deities that are related to them or different kind of spirits. So every tree species has like a designated god or goddess that are connected to them. It's very similar to the Greek myths with the different tree names. So a lot of the trees have some kind of divine presence within them. Like for example, rowan trees are associated with the earth goddess, who is she's called Akka in Finnish. It's the goddess of the soil and the dirt. And if you think about the rowan tree, the way it grows and it sort of spreads into all different directions, you can kind of see the symbolism behind it, how it's this tree of fertility with all those orange berries. And then we have spruce trees are associated with Tapio, who is the god of hunt, god of the forest. And there was this old custom that back in the days when people would hunt and then they would catch some animals, they would usually, leave some kind of sacrifice for the god, and that they might bury some of the animal remains underneath the spruce tree, or maybe prepare a dinner and then leave some of that to the spruce tree, and then it would be like a sacrifice for the forest god.
So spruce is a more
Willows are,
masculine tree.
yeah, more masculine. Also, like pine is connected to the thunder god, but also pines are there like the tallest trees, at least here, and because they reached the sky, and where is the thunder god? He's in the sky. So it's like a gateway to the thunder god. But also pine is more a phallic shaped tree, so it's also connected with the masculine god. Mm.
Yeah, it's funny too because in Greece we have some myths where pine is connected to Zeus, and that I think is, lightning. Again, it's all sort of there. But it's also associated with Athena because we have a pine tree. We just call them pevka, which essentially means pine tree, but they're a protected species, um, and they don't look phallic, which is interesting. So they're more like they kind of fan out, kind of like a white cypress, or no, what are they called? A white pine. A white pine, kind of how the needles kind of splay out. Um, and this tree is associated with Athena because her owls live in it. Those very sweet
Oh,
little Greek owls.
oh,
They're so small that they're risky. They get preyed upon by stray cats and foxes. So those trees are all protected in Greece, and you'll actually notice they're so protected that you might have to remove a wall of your house to allow that tree to grow, not the other way around. So you might be driving on a road and all of a sudden the road goes out and around like this because there's a big tree in the middle. Or you might be, going into the store and all of a sudden, there's a hole in the middle of the ceiling and the tree is cut out around so the tree can keep growing while you still can shop in the store. So, do they do things like that in Finland to protect old trees?
I just read about this. There's very old pine tree. It's in Helsinki. I haven't seen this tree, but it's maybe 600 years old, and
Wow.
it's like right in the middle of like um, it's not right in the city center, but in the city. But there's like a bunch of like very tall building blocks around it, and it's just right next to a shopping center. And there's this tree. It's in the middle of all these buildings. It is protected, but I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as tall as all those buildings. But it's important to note that Finland is a very forestry country. It's like 70% of Finland is forest. So even if you are in a bigger city, if you, for example, in Helsinki and you drive away for a few hours, you end up into the woods at some point. So, yeah.
How old are the forests in Finland? Do we have, like, what's the oldest forest you've come across?
Oh, I don't really know the ages, but in the area where I lived, there was a very old protected forest area. And sometimes I would just take my bicycle and I would drive there. It would take like 50 minutes to get there. And there was a waterfall, and it really looks like a fairy tale forest because it's protected and you cannot touch hurt the trees. Then we also have lots of areas where the forest is more younger and has been cut out. Kind of depends where you are, but you do still find those places where the woodland is more older. Yeah, kind of miss that place now that I started to think about it.
Yeah, there's nothing like an ancient forest or as
Mm.
old as we can get. Um, People really forget this, but even in North America, we have very, very old forests. And in the East Coast, actually, along the Appalachian Trail from essentially Maine all the way down to, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think North Carolina, it's actually considered one of the biggest, I think it's the third biggest forest in the world. Because even though we have cities in between, those forests have persisted. And so they still are
Mm.
a network. They're still networked together, even with all the highways and all the, this is also one of the most populated, I think it's the most populated part of the United States. And yet it's still considered a forest. So that's always beautiful to me to remember. I think people think they have to go so far to experience a forest. And for all of the efforts of, corporations and billionaires, and there's still quite a lot of forests left, a lot of trees to enjoy.
True, and we should keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
What are some of your favorite trees to work with or connect with?
Oh, I love the birch trees. I feel like they are like part of this fairy tale lore. A lot of times there are these magical things happen in birch tree forest. So I love the birch trees, and I remember just when I was a young girl and I would spend time at my grandma's every summer. She would just pick birch branches. She would put them on a vase and on the table and decorate her house with them. Just
Really?
yeah, yeah. It's also associated with the summer solstice, so that
Oh,
kind of
tell me more about that.
tradition.
Birch is one of my
Oh,
favorite trees as well.
mm, yeah, like in the old days, in May and in June, people often decorate their houses with the birch trees, and also like with the birch branches, you would make wreaths. You would make these, I don't know, garlands. Decorate other places with those things that you would find from outside when when the nature is blooming. But also, like there's lots of magical elements connected with the birch trees. It's a very purifying tree. It's a tree of beauty and youth and all those things, spells. Then willows are interesting, especially now when we are moving to March and April, and we start to see like willows and coming to life a bit by bit. And I know that in Eastern Finland that had a bit more effects from the Orthodoxism from Russia. Um, they used willow branches in churches around Easter, sort of replace the palm leaves because palms don't grow here; it's too cold for it. And but before the Christian influences, people used the palm branches, twigs, as wands, and then they would bless the fields with them around May for fertility. I thought that was really cool. So they were used as magic wands as well.
Hmm. It makes me think of the tarot for some reason because I feel like
Oh,
a lot of times when I see wands, they look more like branches.
oh
I don't
yeah,
know why I'm
true.
thinking of the Three of Wands, that card where they're just holding them up. It feels like maybe that was what we were witnessing there. It's like a fertility rite, especially with what
Mm,
Three of Wands means. Wands in general, it's activity. It's fiery.
yeah, I love that. And I think if you are someone who practices witchcraft or anything like that, you can just make a wand by finding a nice branch to yourself. It's not that difficult. I guess it
I
depends on the tradition that you practice.
These are two wands
Mm.
I've made. This one up
Oh,
above it, I made when I was maybe 6 or 7. I've had it all my life. Um, I'm pretty sure I made it when I was 6, like the summer before first grade. And then this one I made, the bottom one with the feathers. It's actually a way less practical wand than this one because it's too fragile. It has too much stuff going on in the bottom. But I made this one as part of my witchcraft initiation, so it was a long process, about a year and a day of creating it. But it's birch, the bottom one. And
oh.
the top stick, I don't know what it is. I think it's ash, but I'm not actually sure.
Mm.
And I'm making a staff right now. I have it downstairs. I'll make sure to put some videos in over the video of what this looks like because it's still coming along. But as of recording this, it's about to be the full moon tonight with a lunar eclipse. So this staff has been a kind of a process of using that energy to create a new tool.
I should make a staff as well. Not just for like magical use, but also just walking around in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a staff is a really powerful tool because it as a pilgrim myself, as someone who loves to go to sacred places, the shoes I wear become sacred to me. I have a pair of shoes that have been with me now to 40 different countries. I cannot get rid of them. I can't. And they're
Oh.
shot. They're over. I can't wear them anymore. I've put so many insoles in. They're useless, but I still can't get rid of them. So I'm using them as my indoor walking shoes when I use a walking pad because I just can't get rid of them. They're too important to me. And staffs do the same. They literally channel the energy back up into ourselves as we walk. Um, Especially if, in witchcraft, in Western witchcraft, we have the concept of your giving and receiving hands. So your dominant hand is your giving hand. It's how you connect to spirit. It's how you initiate connection. So if you're holding that staff with your giving hand, you are initiating connection with each step of that wand or that staff, I should say.
Oh, definitely. It becomes part of you.
Are walking sticks a cultural thing in Finland?
I never thought about that, to be honest. I do see them sometimes. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought of it either, really,
Yeah.
but when I was researching how to make my staff, there was a lot of different takes on it. You know, do you leave the bark on? Do you have to take it off? How do you take it off? Do you have to take it off completely? How do you finish it? So I was researching different ways to do it naturally. I don't want to use plastics. So beeswax, linseed oil, there's different options. But it was really interesting. I did end up thinking, like, well, where do I see walking sticks used and how? And in England, they tend to be tall, like a walking stick might be taller
Mm.
than you. In Greece, the walking sticks are actually like these tiny little canes, essentially. And you don't necessarily use it for balance, but to move things out of the way because so much of Greece is spiky. Like we always call summer spiky season in my family because it just everything wants to kill you. It's so stabby. All the plants dry out and where most places in the world winter is this time of death and nothing in the land. Summer is actually the time of nothing in Greece because it's just so hot. Nothing can survive in that sun. So things are alive. The oleander still makes flowers and but everything kind of recedes and just dries out and so you use your walking stick more to clear your path than to actually support yourself. Whereas in Finland, I imagine it's more to support yourself.
I would think so. I live in the countryside. It's a very wooded area, so the staff is just going to help me to walk in the hidden forest paths. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a little different degrees.
very different. Yeah. Here in
Mm.
North America too, you just have like you said, it's hidden. It's a lot of leaf fall and things that you maybe don't know what's going to be under it. So having a staff is helpful to not roll your ankle or
Oh, yeah.
but they're a beautiful
Mm.
tool because it's the land supporting you on your
Oh, yeah.
adventure with the land.
It's like, now I just kept thinking about The Hobbit and
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, they crossed over to Mordor with their staffs. Mm.
Yeah. And it makes you think what happened to that staff at the end because it was with them
Mm.
on that journey.
Yeah. Somewhere in a
Actually,
Hobbit hall on the wall or next to the wall.
I know, I do. I think it is
Yeah.
because you said that actually. You're right. Bilbo, when we first meet him in, I don't remember if this is in The Hobbit or in The Fellowship of the Ring, but there is a map, we're told, of all his favorite walking paths of the Shire, and it's written in red. And it's on the wall when you first come into Bag End. And then next to it are not, I forget the way Tolkien says it, but he says, not a small number of pegs for cloaks and coats for Bilbo and his guests because he's very hospitable, he's welcoming.
Mm.
And alongside it were all his favorite walking sticks.
Oh. Yeah.
That's so true. Lord of the Rings actually is one of my favorite things in this whole world. Definitely, I'm an animist because of Lord of the Rings. And Tolkien, this is so off topic, but Tolkien wrote a lot of his cosmology, the mythology he created for Middle Earth, was based largely on the Kalevala.
Yes, I know that. And I'm not super familiar with Kalevala. I have read it when I was a child and in school. Some one of those mandatory reads we have.
I'm
It's
sure.
largely, yeah, it is largely based. Um, some of it is based on Finnish, like traditional poetry and spells and lore. Then the writer Elias Lönnrot, he made up lots of things himself, which is fine. But I think one of the things that is really definitely based on original Finnish folklore and myths is that we have this collection of song poems. A lot of the spells were sang and chanted. And then when you say certain things, we have this one of these like categories in the song poems. They are so-called bird poems. So you would say things and then you would create things. So there are bird poems for the different trees, different animals, different phenomenons in nature for snow and things like that. So, for example, if you were bitten by a snake, you would say the bird poem of the snake, and then the sort of the spirit of the snake would help you to heal the wound. So, in Silmarillion, when the earth is created, it is created by singing. So that's something that originates from Finnish lore. It's really cool. Think about
Yeah.
it. Mm.
And this might sound silly, but when you say bird songs, you mean just literally BIRD, bird
Yes,
songs. Wow.
not bird, creation songs. Uh,
Oh, birth songs.
yeah.
That's so beautiful. And
Mhm.
I really believe that song is the origin of creation. And when I work with land in Greece and in North America, but it happens most in places where this was done before, it's easiest to access at an ancient temple or, somewhere where the land is used to this connection to humans. But you can teach your land spirits anywhere that this is something you can do together. But the songs will rise in you. I always say, go to your land. If you can drum, if you can dance, if you can play a flute, if you can connect with the music with your land, it will start asking you to sing. You will start to feel song bubbling up. And it sometimes isn't words. Most of the time I think it's not words because language is a human construct. So the land is asking more for melody than it is words. But sometimes it is words because sometimes the land wants us to take that home and words help us remember our melodies and songs. So I feel like that's one of the great powers of being human that the land loves about us is our ability to sing. Because a creature can make noise and a bird can sing a beautiful song, but it can really only sing its song. Humans can sing an individual song. It's not like the song of the robin, it's not the song of the human. Every human has their own voice and their own message and their own gift of connection to offer the land.
And that is true. And I mean, I think it's scientifically proven that plants grow better when you sing to them and when you talk to them.
Yeah,
So
different types of
definitely,
tones matter. Yeah,
mm,
like anger versus joy.
the plant responds to your vibration, essentially. So definitely the people in the past also knew this when they sang for the trees and the bees, all the other creatures. One of my favorite uh, sauna myths is about the bird of the cat. Finnish lore. It's a really cute one. So, oh gosh, I try to remember it. So there's this story that the spirit of the farm, the guardian spirit of the house, creates a cat to be his companion. So in the spell, it is a greybeard who creates the cat, and he does this by throwing all different elements to the sauna stove, and the cat rises from the mist that comes in the sauna. But he throws there. Hello.
Is that your cat?
Yeah, she's sleeping behind me.
Oh, she's making sure you get the story right about how cats were created.
Yeah, definitely. She heard me talking about her now. So
Yeah.
the elf he takes a snake to be the cat's tail, and the fangs of the snake become the cat nails, and girl's nose becomes a cat's nose, and wolf's body becomes the body of the cat, and what else? Cloudberries become the paws, and
Oh,
hare's head becomes the cat's head, and whiskers of a mouse become cat whiskers, and he throws all of that to the sauna stove, and from that, like, spirit of the cats are born. And after that, the cat and the spirit of the house, they become friends, and they just look after the farm together.
that's so
Oh,
cute.
that is really cute. But I think it really makes sense, because what cats like to do, well, they like warm places. Of course, they were born in the sauna.
Yeah, they would love a sauna.
Yeah. All of my cats have loved being in the sauna. Not when it's like very hot, but mild.
Yeah.
Uh, and back in the days, like this classic image of a cat in Finnish culture, oh, it's a cat is somewhere next to the fireplace, just having the time of their lives, you know, enjoying the warmth.
They're
Mm.
amazing spirits of place, cats. They make a place better for being there.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I love that little folktale.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites is the bird of the raven. This is a very witchy one. The raven is born in a in a mountain in a pile of coal, and it's made from all these like different species of a spinning wheel and a spindle, and it has all kinds of witchy elements, and then it comes out from a witch's cauldron.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, very witchy. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole category of how the different animal species were created. It's really cool. Mm, very witchy and very whimsical.
Yeah. Makes me think of Treebeard's song of the, what does he call it? Song of the Creatures, I think. He
Mm,
has a really long song. I think he even has a part two. In the book, it's like 7 pages. And it's how every creature was born and created in Middle-earth. But they're not, the
oh yeah.
hobbits aren't in it, which is why he sings the whole thing to Merry and Pippin, because he says, I've never heard of you guys. Let me go through the list.
Mm. My favorite character in Tolkien universe is Tom Bombadil.
Me
Uh,
too. Tom and
oh yeah.
Goldberry, the two of them together, the way they live, the way he adores her, it to me is the ultimate expression of God and Goddess.
Oh, I love that. I often like associate them with just like maybe it's some of my affection to Finnish tree lore, but then it's something very similar. Living in this sort of a tree palace somewhere, and, just being in touch with the elements.
Yeah. Well, to most people, I think they would call Finland a tree palace. So at least
Oh
you're
yeah.
well, Nina, thank you for joining me here in Seeking Numina, the Sacred Places podcast. Could you tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can purchase finished tree magic, and anything you have coming up?
You can purchase Finnish Tree Magic from Amazon, and the book coming up in next December. It's about Finnish water magic that will be published by Pagan Portals. It's very exciting. It's about the Vellamo, she's the Finnish goddess of the sea, and there's all lore related to her. You can find me from my website, fairychamber.org. That's also my name online. It's Fairychamber Art on Instagram. That's more of my art account, but there's also stuff from my books and adventures in Finnish ancient sites and lore. And also, I have a YouTube channel which is sort of sometimes more active than others. That's also Fairychamber.
All right. Well, thank you again for being
Mm.
here. I'm glad you reached out because you are the only Finnish writer I've found talking about anything like this. And it is different. Like, something I get annoyed about sometimes online is people will just be like, Scandinavian, Norse. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, there's cultures there. So I really appreciate you upholding your culture and sharing it with the West so that they can learn. Because I think most people just don't realize how much variety there is to practice and approach. So I appreciate you providing that information for the whole world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I seen here in Finland within past 20 years, there's been lots of new research made about Finnish lore. Yeah, not much in English yet. Well, it's
No,
going to change little by little.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm glad you're leading the charge on this.
Yeah, but it's also nice when people reach out to me and they found the information interesting and want to learn more. So then it also encourages me and also other people. So, yeah, and it is a little different compared to Norse myths, and I love Norse myths, but it's very different. The Finnish pagan tradition, it's very animistic and maybe a little more centered around different nature spirits than like sort of pantheon of gods and goddesses. Still, it's very fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, my impression is it's more land-based and less cosmic. The Norse gods are
Mm.
more concerned with the planets, the heavens, navigation on the seas for the people. I think of the Danes and
Yeah,
things
that was
doing their
part of
conquests.
their culture.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
Finland is
think.
is very peaceful to me.
Yeah, but it's also we had this. I think we adopted farm agriculture a little later than other parts of Europe. So there's also this
Stereotype.
element of hunter-gatherers in the Finnish folklore that you can see in why there is so many myths about animism. So I think it gives a very fascinating layer to to the stories.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, and keep us posted when your next book comes out with Pagan Portals. I'll message Rachel; she'll keep me updated, but I would love to have you back
Mm.
on to talk more about all of
Oh,
this.
yeah. It appears sometimes in December. I'll,
Oh,
I'll,
perfect.
I'll keep you noted.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be good. We can talk about because it's a water goddess, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a good time of year to be talking about all that.
Yeah, I love my water goddesses. This one is very fascinating. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know more about me, buy my artworks, books, join my mythology and folklore courses, you can visit my website at fairychamber.org, and you can also join my free newsletter to receive updates on my new projects at fairychamber.substack.com.